Hey guys, this is Pharaoh 2091, and welcome back to Let's Play Phoenix Wright, Ace Attorney, Trials and Tribulations. Kind of forgot where we left off last time because it's been like 2 or 3 weeks since I actually recorded something, so let's just continue on. I believe we stopped at this testimony. The Sacred Urn Heist. I first received a request from Lorelei Taylor about 20 days ago. The urn was placed in a box, and Zavari! It was then sent to the warehouse. Hence, I was actually unable to see the urn for myself until the day of the crime. I knew it was an extremely valuable treasure, so I set my car 10 days beforehand. I then handled security by myself to ensure that my crime would go smoothly. At last, I held the urn in my hands for the first time at 1 a.m. on October 12th. That's pretty much all the stuff we've heard before, isn't it? Yeah, but we will find the truth hidden in the nuggets of new information he gave. Witness, you're sure there are no mistakes this time? Zavari! Well, I guess that means okay, or yes. Very well then. Mr. Wright, you may begin your cross-examination. Alright, well. Excuse me there. There was a statement that he kind of said that, kind of caught me off guard right here. It says he was unable to see the urn for himself until the day of the crime. However, if he claims that he is Mask to Mask, and you look at his calling card, look at the actual details of it, well, it says take good care of the speckled urn. Now, how would he know a detail like that about the urn if he's never seen it before? Yeah, contradiction. Mr. Atme, if you really are Mask to Mask, then you also wrote this calling card, correct? But of course. Is there a problem with that calling card? Allow me to read a passage from the calling card that Mask to Mask had written. Take good care of the speckled urn. Now, the speckled here surely refers to this pink pattern of the sacred urn. Well, yes, that's true. But so what? Truth be told, there is no way that Mask to Mask could have known about this pattern. What do you mean? This pink spotted pattern on the urn is actually nothing more than paint stains. Paint stains? And these stains did not appear until after urn had been taken to Lorelei Taylor. I'm not finding this joke to be very funny at all, Mr. Trite. The day that the sacred urn was taken to the warehouse, the urn was broken due to the human error, or should I say an error-prone human. And that's when the pink paint got on the urn. Ugh, you can't be serious. And yet this calling card clearly mentions a paint pattern. Which means Detective Atme had seen this urn long before the crime ever took place. In fact, he saw it when this fake photo was taken. Oh, I'm sure. I hope that didn't make any distortion noises on the microphone, but whatever. And because this photo is a fake, your alibi for the night of the murders no longer holds water. Go! What the hell did you say? It's a go. Witness, do you have anything to say for yourself? Good. All right, I did it. He's broken. Nick, I think it's still a little early for a victory pose. Huh? Of course, here he is smiling and drinking. Ha! It's so sad. No one has any conviction these days. Conviction, you say? Yesterday, we all decided unanimously that this man was Mask to Mask. And now, we're calling him a murderer. You don't think we're being a tad fickle? That's a good point! No way! Don't fall for that too, Your Honor! You said Luke Atme was the one who killed Kane Bullard. Then let me ask you this. Why would he do that? An excellent point. Motive, Mr. Wright! Motive! Might you, my merry murderous motive manifest? Nick! He's getting a second wind! If he prepared an alibi and pinned his crime on Ron DeLite, as you say, he must have had a very strong motive for murder. The only one who has any motive we've seen here is Ron DeLite. Isn't that right, Detective? Indeed. According to my own research, the boy's motive is clear. Without a motive, it's nearly impossible to prove guilt in this murder case. Now then, maybe you can enlighten us to what the defendant's motives were. Thank you, Sir Old-Timer. They're doing everything they can to make Ron look suspicious. Despite our lack of hard information, there must be, or there may be, this may be our only chance. Alright, let's hear his damn motive for murder. I, Luke Atme, had no points of contact with the victim whatsoever. Kane Buller decided to investigate Master and simply mistook who he was. If it was Mr. Buller who had wrote this blackmail letter and sent it to Ron DeLite, it was him who did that. And it was again Mr. Buller who harbored our grudge against Mr. DeLite for his betrayal. Mr. Buller's mistake is quite excusable. The defendant truly believes he is Master Mask. That is why Mr. DeLite saw it fit to kill Kane Buller. Truly a tragedy. So the victim, Kane Buller, blackmailed the defendant? This is the blackmail letter found in the defendant's apartment. A handwriting test confirms that Mr. Buller was indeed the one who wrote this letter. What? Well, now we know the letter was written by the murder victim. Very well, Mr. Wright. Begin your cross-examination. Okay. Well, there is something that we could present on. And this requires a little bit more digging through of the information that we have here. Now, he says here that it was Mr. Buller who wrote the blackmail letter and sent it to Ron. However, have you guys actually read the blackmail letter? Let's read it again, in case you guys forgotten. If you don't want your true identity revealed to the world, come to KB Security at 1 a.m. on October 12th and bring 50 grand. If you don't, I'll take that red diamond you received the other day instead. Now, red diamond? I don't remember Ron having any type of red diamond unless he has it hidden somewhere. But there is another red diamond that we can clearly see all the time. In fact, if you look hard enough, you can see it right now. So, that kind of makes you think a little bit. Let's go ahead and present this. Mind if I ask you a few questions, Detective Atme? Well, if it's just a few, I guess it's alright. When you said that this letter was addressed to Ron DeLite, I couldn't help but notice one major contradiction. Contradiction? I don't know where a walking contradiction like you gets off saying things like that. You're one to talk. At times like these, men are made to express themselves with their fists. Why don't you show us what you've got there, Junior? Indeed. Time to man up, Mr. Wright. Show us the contradicting evidence in the content of the blackmail letter. Okay. Well, we can also do that. We can prove that as well. We're going back to this newspaper clipping. Let's take a look at it, shall we? You know, nothing seems out of place. Or does it? There's something on Mr. Atme that doesn't seem to appear in his photo. So, that kind of, like, yeah, that kind of fits in, right? Don't you think? Let's go out and present it. Take a good look at this newspaper clipping. It contains a picture of the tier of, a stolen jewel. What about it? The problem is this jewel's color. Color? I'm not much for discussing colors myself. According to the clipping, the color of the stolen jewel was blue. However, in a blackmail letter, a totally different jewel is mentioned. I'll take that red diamond you received the other day. Red! Which means the red diamond described in the blackmail letter is not the tear of Amon, whatever, that Master Mask stole at all! It's not, then what could it be? And your point is, Mr. Trite? So you were trying to say that this blackmail letter was intended for someone else? That is what you're trying to say, right, Trite? Is that what you're trying to say? Right, Mr. Wright? Well, that is what you're trying to say, right, Nick? Yes. This is who Kane Buller was actually blackmailing. If you haven't figured it out by now, then... well, for God's sake, it's not that hard to figure out. Naturally, it was you, Detective Atme! Do you have some sort of basis for that claim? You have been personally involved in every single Master Mask case, and in the last case you recovered what was stolen, and received a jewel as your reward. A jewel? Probably the one wrapped that word around your finger, conspicuously. I almost had it right, I think. That red diamond ring! That is the diamond referred to in this letter, which means that Kane Buller wrote that letter in order to blackmail you! Duh! Order! Order in the court! Order, I say! It seems you've gone too far with your childish pranks, Mr. Trite. Uh-oh. I don't like the way he said that. Kane Buller blackmailing Luke Atme? Are you for real? Yes, I am. Nick, come on, stand up to him. Then answer me this. The blackmail letter contains the following passage. If you don't want your identity revealed to the world. Oh, yes, it certainly does. Kane Buller threatened to make Luke Atme's identity public knowledge. An identity he wanted to keep a secret. So just what was that identity? Atme killed Kane Buller because he was afraid of his secret becoming known. What was the identity he wanted to keep secret? This is what it all comes down to, Nick. The identity that Luke Atme wanted so desperately to keep secret was his identity as... well, we got a couple choices here. An ace detective, I don't think he wanted to keep that one hidden. He was pretty much flaunting it the whole entire time. Master Mask, well, you could say, oh, logically, yeah, why not? But we're going with Ron saying that he is actually Master Mask and someone actually sent him letters on how to commit it. So the only thing left here is a freaking blackmailer. Luke Atme was a blackmailer!
Objection!
Hey now, is that a little different from what you've just been saying? You said that Kane Buller was the one blackmailing Luke Atme. Are you saying that Atme was blackmailing someone else on top of that? Yeah, you have to admit that does sound a little odd. It's not odd. It's the only thing that makes any sense. Kane Buller was blackmailing Luke Atme. But Ron Delight was also being blackmailed by someone else. And here we go, going back to the little flashback that says Ron said he's been getting letters to commit these crimes. Right there. And he said he's been receiving numerous somewhat blackmail letters. Detailed plans? In which case, that would mean that Ron Delight was actually Master Mask. That is what we were claiming. Someone else came with the plans and had Mr. Delight steal his targets for him. And that someone was none other than Luke Atme. Shh! Silence! Now I see. It's all becoming clear. What is? When you were in grade school, you received the same report card every year. Careless, with a tendency to jump to conclusions. Am I wrong? How did you... You said I, Luke Atme, was blackmailing Ron Delight? In which case I would naturally know all his I would know all about his relation to Master Mask. Well, yes. Ron DeLite started receiving plans from his second crime onward, correct? Which means I learned of his identity when he committed the first crime. Good points. You certainly could have blackmailed him otherwise. In that case, let's see some hot, bitter evidence. During the first crime, how did Luke Atme know that Ron DeLite was Master Mask? And, well, we'll go back to another piece of evidence we previously went to. Newspaper clipping. If you remember what Ron said, that's him in the paper. And he said that he hid his costume in that area, so perhaps that's how he found out. I think I see it. See what? When you were in grade school, you received the same report card every year. Gets into lots of mischief trying to be the center of attention. What do you mean? This newspaper clipping. It has a picture of you and Ron DeLite in his guard uniform. It seems that Master Mask didn't just disappear into thin air. He just took off his outfit, and he hid it in a bucket. That sounds far too stupid to be true. Correct. With tricks like that, he couldn't fool a baby, let alone an ace detective. And that's when you figured it out, Mr. Atme. That's when you learned that under his mask, Master Mask was really Ron DeLite. What the? Wasn't he supposed to be Master Mask? Not only that, it looks like he wasn't even an ace detective. I can't believe it. He was just a smiley blackmailer. What a fraud, trying to pass himself off as an ace detective. Yeah, I hope you guys like my crowd voices. They all have very weird voices. Why, you! How dare you expose me like that? Why, I mean, I've never blackmailed anyone in my life. I'm a famous and proud ace detective and also Master Mask. Why can't you understand that? I'm afraid you are neither a proud thief nor an ace detective. You're a blackmailer and a murderer. That is your true identity. Why, you? How dare you even... why not try to do something? You real fools, I say. None of you can... Here, just go on. Discriminate. Ace detective. God, what's wrong with... No! It's enough to make one laugh. Yeah, okay, I think it went a little insane. It would seem we're finally gotten to the real answer. That was quite a performance by Mr. Atme. Bailiff! Please prepare yourself for Mr. Atme.
Objection!
Oh, great. Of course he has something else up his sleeve. The hammer that strikes too fast has no time to aim. What do you mean? I'm already prepared to deliver my sentence. Allow me to say one thing. I will be the one to judge. Wow, that's kind of a slap in the face. You don't get much more in your face than that. There you go. It appears that your claws weren't quite sharp enough, Mr. Trite. Where do you... It's true that you've proven a lot of things. Things like Luke Atme was a filthy blackmailer, and that he wasn't at Lordly Taylor and I of the murder. That's right! That's why he's the one who caned Mr. But... there's still one thing you've yet to prove. What's that? Just because he wasn't at the warehouse doesn't mean he was at the murder scene. Therefore, if you can't prove that this pitiful excuse for a man was at KB security, then I don't see how a verdict can be delivered. No. No way! Order! Order in the court! Well, Mr. Wright, this is it. This is the final round. I've got to prove that Atme was at Mr. Bullard's office on that night. But, can you really prove that? That's long enough, Mr. Trite. I want to hear your answer. That night, Luke Atme was at KB security. And the defense? We'll figure it out next time. So, as usual, thank you all for watching, and I'll see you guys next time for Let's Play Phoenix Wright, Ace Attorney, Trials and Tribulations. I'll see you guys later.